On December 28, 2014, a young 4-year-old girl named Sarah Conley came into the hospital covered in small red bumps with a case of the measles that she had contracted from one of the world's biggest theme parks, Disneyland, California. Sarah, unlike most young children her age, was not vaccinated due to her parents' decision that it was not necessary. However, it is extremely necessary. After Sarah's case was discovered, the California Department of Public Health, or CDPH, was notified about 4 more measles cases contracted from the park. This then led to a spiraling effect as soon as more and more cases were being discovered of measles of adults and children who had visited the same theme park, all because one girl was not vaccinated. Vaccinations have become an incredible invention that has made its way into this century, eradicating and close to eradicating many extremely dangerous diseases, making them seem almost irrelevant in today's world, according to the CDC. Today, some parents have felt as though vaccinations for their children should be optional, arguing that it is dangerous and can cause some small children to contract things such as autism. However, studies have proven that the risks have become so small that it is really only 1 out of 1,000 children who contract these adverse symptoms, according to vaccinationsstudies.gov, meaning that the risks highly outweigh the rewards in keeping more epidemics, such as the Disneyland epidemic, out of our schools and out of our country. After studying the subject extensively and being involved in a vaccine research team, discovering the effects of vaccinations, I have concluded that all students should be required to be vaccinated in order to attend public schools. Vaccinations allow us to be protected from harmful diseases from the past that have caused havoc in our history and have killed many people. Diseases such as polio and smallpox have been eradicated thanks to vaccines. This makes it so that in our society today, we no longer think of it as a concern. We also feel safer in public situations and allow our children into public situations. This is because vaccines have saved about 5 million lives since 1980, when these vaccines first came out, making the world a safer place for many children. This shows us how big of an impact vaccines have had in only a short amount of time, making them very useful. Many of these killer diseases are passed from one person to another, making them very contagious. However, when vaccinated, are no longer harmful. Thanks to vaccines, we are now able to eliminate many epidemics, saving millions of lives. Including these life-saving effects, there's little to no risk. Doctors have been working on these vaccines for a really long time, eventually making it so that the consequences to receiving them are little to none. Vaccines work with children's bodies' natural defenses to help them safely develop immunity to diseases, according to the CDC, meaning that they do nothing unnatural to the body and are completely safe and natural. All they do is strengthen the body. Like any medication, however, vaccines can cause side effects. The most common side effects are mild. On the other hand, many vaccine-preventable disease symptoms can be serious or even deadly. Serious side effects after vaccination, such as severe allergic reaction, are very rare, and doctors and clinic staff are trained to deal with them. The side effects from vaccines are almost always minor, just redness and swelling where the shot was given, and go away within a few days. If your child experiences a reaction at the injection site, use a cool, wet cloth to reduce redness, soreness, and swelling, according on the CDC website. Doctors are trained to treat these reactions on site, making it so that they are no longer dangerous. Adverse effects to receiving vaccines are very small and even considered rare. Cases are considered easy to treat by professionals, and the rewards are great of a lifetime of protection. As effective as vaccines are, dangerous epidemics can occur when children are exposed early on to other children who are not vaccinated. It is dangerous to mix vaccinated and unvaccinated children in public schools. Although many who purposely don't vaccinate their children or themselves claim that they aren't part of the herd or don't believe in herd immunity, they still are. They are simply an unprotected member of the herd who relies on the rest of us for protection, according to Very Well Health. Choosing to not vaccinate your child puts them at risk to contract and spread contagious diseases that could harm others. Young children are also at risk for polio, rubella, and mumps until they are old enough to be vaccinated. Considering that there are 4 billion births a year in the United States, that puts a lot of infants at risk for measles, pertussis, and other vaccine-preventable diseases, according to Very Well Health. By putting them in a public environment with other young children, they are easily susceptible to these diseases because most children are not fully vaccinated until the end of elementary school, when they receive their last round of vaccinations. This means that when in a classroom with children who are not protected, many deadly diseases are at risk of spreading throughout the school or classroom. Parents typically think that it is only their own unvaccinated children and themselves who will be at risk for vaccine-preventable diseases, which they often think are not dangerous. Another classic anti-vaccination myth. Unfortunately, as the increasing number of outbreaks of measles in the United States is showing, neither anti-vaccination myth is true, again according to Very Well Health. Even though parents who choose not to vaccinate their children believe that it poses no risk for the rest of us, they are wrong. Vaccinations are a creation that have helped millions today. Ever since being created, vaccinations has caused a lot of controversy because those who believe in it and those who don't, especially in public schools. However, this is more than a question of opinion. It is a question of safety. And to fully protect yourself and your children, they should be fully vaccinated before being allowed to be in a close day-to-day interactions with other children in public schools. We must fight to protect not only ourselves, but also our families, our children, and our nation as a whole.